Hi, a good day for all. My name is Daniel Cardona and I work with Sebastian Franco and Maria Eugenia Morales. In this paper, I'm going to speak about financial education and internet as factors of development. To start, I want to introduce the Sustainable Development Goals. These are 17 objectives proposed by the United Nations as part of the Agenda 2030 for the world. And these objectives are focused in three specific aspects: the environmental issues, the economic issues, and the social issues. And recently, the United Nations and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development said that financial education is a currently implemented policy tool that is helping to achieve the sustainable development goals. But, however, we made a priori research and we found that in December 18, only 21 of the population in almost all the countries, all the non-development countries, have only 51% of population with a bank account, and only 15% of these people use electronic service. Means that only 15% of these people uh, have connection between internet and this bank service. Also, we found in this research from Standard and Poor's that the media or the growth of internet in areas like Latin America by 2017, the year 2017, doesn't represent 50% of the population. Means that less than 50% of the people in this kind of country is using internet right now. So we decided to make this study, and the focus of this study is to identify possible inference between the levels of financial education and the income in Latin America versus the use or wireless of the internet for and the implication that this connection have for the development in the countries. Um, and nowadays we say to this vintage the connection between finance and technology. Okay, then the methodology for this work is a mix between a quantitative and a qualitative process. We start with a one ANOVA. This is a regression study, and we use some variables related to financial issues and related to the internet, like internet access, computer use, wireless connections, and we also have bank penetration, financial literacy for the year 2016, 17, and 18. So we doesn't have information for 2019 or this year. Then we decide to complete this study with a bibliometric analysis that is like a study that find in a database like Scopus the the most recently studies related to this topic, and we take the conclusions to check the future or the studies that already spoke about it. Okay, as the result, in the quantitative part, in the regression, we made a equation that is here. This equation, F is the response variable, financial literacy in this case, and XP represent the explanatory variables. In this case is the access of internet in the houses, the computer use, the wireless connections, and N represent the regression intercept. Of course, we also have this error or unobserved things and is denoted by this theta letter. We can check here in the graphic that exists a correlation between education, financial education, and internet access. And also in this study, we made all the assumptions of homocelasticity, independence, linearity, and constant variance of the variables that are considered in this study. And we also get a p-value for the 3 years that we check under 0.5. This means that we reject the null hypothesis, and we can say that this model has a significant explanatory capacity on the level of financial education for all the countries that we include in this study. It's really important to say that we work specific with the Latin America countries. Also, we went to Scopus and we took the information for the last 10 years, and we started to check some indicators of the productions in these topics. We made like equation with financial education or financial literacy plus internet use plus Latin America, and we also checked the countries, and we found that 59% of the documents are articles, and the other important part are review, book, chapter, and conference. And almost all these documents that we found have a specific component of reflection. This means that we doesn't found models that spoke about the connection or about the use of financial education or internet into the way to improve the development. No, we found more documents that spoke about the importance, but no document that really go a step in front. Also, we have here the graphic of the number of documents per years. We can check that we can say that it's growing. If we made like a media of the data, we can find that it's growing the number of documents per year. Okay, also in the bibliometric study, we select the more important documents, the documents with more citations, and we read the conclusions. And we select here, or we highlight here, the most important points. The first of these points is the political commitment that is related to the importance that have the financial education as part of the strategy in the government policies. It's really necessary that the government put the financial education as part of these policies. The second point is the regulatory framework for financial education, because not only in Latin America, in almost all the country, is not well known the meaning of financial education. A lot of people describe as the access of the bank service, but other people recognize the financial education as a way to grow, as fundamental knowledge. Also, we found the equitable conditions, financial inclusion, and also the internet have to be a point, or have to be a service, or have to be a knowledge for all. And it's really important that the access don't have people excluded of this. And the cost of the financial service have to be put it out to try to get more people inside the system. This is the way to cut the difference between rich and poor people. And the last one, but not the less important, open inclusive networks. in all these kind of contests in these countries that are in development ways, the internet, the 4.0 industry, the connection 4G or 5G is not already there. It's really important that the internet start to be a system for all, that everybody have access for this. Okay, then the conclusions of this work, um, we find, of course, studios, we find connection between internet and financial education, but this study was not able to find the number, a specific level in that the financial education moved the internet or the internet moved the financial education. We find a lot of work related to this topic, but it's a little bit sad that almost all the documents only have a reflexive and qualitative nature. We doesn't found models to help to improve or to describe in a better way the meaning of financial education or the meaning of financial education for development. It's very important that the government start to think in technological infrastructure for development, not only for financial education, also for connection and also for be more inclusive. And this is the bibliographic. Thanks for watching.